my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about amigurumi and the tips and tricks to create better amigurumi. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make a really good amigurumi? Today I'm going to talk about tips that have helped me to become a better crocheter when I'm making my amigurumi. Crochet dolls actually have a name, amigurumi, which means it is the Japanese art of knitting or crocheting small stuffed yarn creatures. Different dolls that have used chenille yarn or even blanket yarn, which these are different. They're a little bit, the blanket yarn is a little bit thicker, and people like to call these plushies, but really they're amigurumi. So let's just call them what they are, amigurumi. Now they come in all shapes and sizes, time commitments, and all those different things. Some of the things that you need to consider when you're making your amigurumi is whether or not you're using the best yarn for you and for your project. There's acrylic, there's cotton, there's acrylic and cotton blend, there's chenille, there's blanket yarn, there's all different types of yarn. When I first started I was using acrylic yarn, and then I used cotton yarn, and I used cotton yarn for a really long time and I really liked it, but I found that it was really stiff and really hard to make. And then I found for me that a combo of cotton and acrylic was a great fit for me. So that's what I would recommend if you're first starting out with making amigurumi, is to use a cotton acrylic blend. But if you don't have that and you just have acrylic yarn or you just have cotton yarn, that's totally fine. Now I've had some time, now I used chenille yarn, so that gets that little bit of more soft and fluffy feel, and also blanket yarn. Those are the two that I really like because, let's face it, they're dolls. It's good that they're squishy. Another tip that's really important that I didn't know the very first time I started making amigurumi is that tension. Okay, you don't have to crochet super tight, because the rule is loosely use 2 sizes smaller than suggested, because you don't want the stuffing to be showing and you don't want it to be coming out. Now, I don't really have my very first amigurumi to show you in person, but I do have a picture which I'll show right here. I was really proud of my amigurumi. I thought he was cute, but really, you got to start somewhere, right? So it's important that you use the correct yarn and a correct hook. Remember, 2 sizes smaller than what it suggests on the package. Another really helpful tool that you will need when you make amigurumi is a stitch marker. When I first started, I would crochet the rows and I'd stick this in so I knew where I stopped and I knew where I started, because you don't want too many rows if you're creating something in a pattern. So stitch markers are really to have. This was one of the most important light bulb moments in creating the amigurumi at first for me. At the time, you start out with 6 stitches in a magic ring. Now when you go up to the next row, you usually increase, so it's 12. So if you're following along, the first row is 6, the second row is 12, the third row is 18, the fourth row is 24, fifth row is 30. If you're good at math, which I am challenged at, and this is why I didn't realize it, is that it's multiples of 6 as you go up. If you were creating, so for instance on this doll, it started with 6 and then it went out. So if you're doing something that's rounded, different patterns, but just that basic understanding that there's math involved and that there's multiples will help you to know how many numbers there are in a row. One of the last things that I want to touch on is that there is a wrong side and a right side to a crochet amigurumi. You can tell I'm crocheting along and it will automatically start to cup over. All right. Now, as I'm demonstrating, there is an inside and there's an outside of an amigurumi. The inside just looks different, and so you want to flip it to the right side and crochet up, because when you do it that way, it actually forms and shapes your. One other thing that I actually wanted to share with you today is that I just learned that there is a way to crochet that's over and there's a crochet under in amigurumi. The difference in the over and under is when you crochet over, which is the correct way to crochet if you're crocheting anything else and you're single crocheting something, it will actually make your creation larger. Crocheting under is actually a tighter stitch and your doll will be smaller, meaning with over you use more yarn, with under you use less yarn. So if you're in a pinch and you're playing yarn chicken, you're not sure if you have enough yarn, maybe crochet under that you have created. Go ahead and tag me and I would love to see them. I'm on Instagram and show me what you've been making. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. I really appreciate it. If there's anything that you would ever like to see on my channel, go ahead and mention it in my comments. Hope you have a fantastic day. Hello, my friends. Have you ever wondered, hello, my friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Let's see if I can actually look at where I'm supposed to be looking at.